storyteller, James Gordon!
Whoa.
James.
James.
And
James.
where are you at, James? I'm looking for you in this.
I got the pink sweater on.
I see you. All right. I'm going to mute everybody in 1 second here. Could you please unmute yourself?
I am. Oh, well, I'm not. Now I am. Now I am. My daughter's in the 3rd grade, and she's sitting in the back seat smiling, and she says, like she always does, "You're the best daddy ever, Dad." I said, "Oh, thanks." She says, could you put our song on?" And I think, oh, okay. I put on Barney. I'm thinking that's the one. She says, "No, Dad, that's not the one." I said, my bad. I put on Michael Jackson because she loves Michael Jackson. Beat It immediately starts coming through the speakers. She's like, "Dad, we're at a red light." "Dad, no." And she scrunches up her face. That's not the song. And so I say, "Sweets," my nickname for her, "what's the song?" And I'm smiling at her. She says, it goes like this. "More money, more murder, more homicide. You catch that body, boy, you better alibi. You never know, it might just be your time. You take that ride to that pearly white." And I'm looking like, oh, shit. That's the song? And she says, put it on, Daddy." And then she says, "Don't worry, I won't tell Mama." And so I'm sitting here, and not only am I not the best daddy, I have got to be the #1 contender for the shittiest father ever. So what do trying to make the situation better? I reach down, I get the CD, I put it on, we start singing. More money, more murder, more homicide. And we're just singing along till it's time for her to get to school, and she gets out like she always does and says, "You're the best daddy ever, Dad." That stayed in my mind that, oh my God, I let my child hear rap music that I was just trying to keep away from all these influences and stuff, but I let her hear it and it got to her anyway. And so my life with my sweets would be trying to live up to being the best father ever. And it would cause for some different type of situations. Case in point, she is now in the 8th grade, and I've dropped her off at school, and I'm headed home before it's time for me to go to work. I get a phone call, and it's from the school. It's in my phone. Dad, I left my lunch. You know I'm going on a trip today." I said, "Right, yeah, that's right." She said, "I left my lunch." I said, "Could you bring it?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool, no problem." I go to the kitchen, and I'm looking around for a brown paper bag with a lunch in it. I'm looking in the refrigerator. I'm like, "Sweet, there's no lunch." And she says, "Oh, I know where I left it." I said, "Well, where'd you leave it, Sweet?" She says, "I left it at Subway. I was going to ask you to stop and get me a foot-long turkey, some Doritos, and a Mountain Dew. Can you get it for me, Dad?" And I'm sitting here like, the nerve of this child. How dare she call her father and ask him to go get her lunch, which she never had, from a restaurant and bring it to her school? So I go and get the foot-long turkey with the pepper jack cheese cut in half, chips, and a bottle of Mountain Dew. I take it up to the school, and the ladies in the office are making fun. "Oh, Dad comes through again. He's always coming through. Oh, he wouldn't let his daughter, go without lunch." And here she comes parading down the steps into the office. "Oh, thanks, Daddy." That hug around the waist. And she says, like she always says, after retrieving her lunch, "You're the best daddy ever." I'm like, oh man, I'm starting to think that my child might be a Criminal Minds unsub or a master manipulator. It doesn't matter because I'm going to go for it every time. Circle forward. It is now 2020. We are in the midst of a pandemic. My daughter is going in for what is supposed to be a simple procedure, to my knowledge. And my experience with procedures and going inside hospitals is they're never simple. They never just go like they're supposed to go. There's always something on the front end. There's always something on the back end. There's never anything. So I've been visiting my daughter. She's getting ready. She's been pre-op. She's gotten through the COVID tests and what have you so she can proceed with the surgery. And so I'm coming up, and this is like the Wednesday before Friday when she's supposed to have the surgery. And she says, Dad, you know what I would really like to eat? I said, what, sweets? She says, a corned beef on rye, fries with mild sauce, and a Coke Zero, our favorite pop. And I said, they're letting you have that in the hospital? And she says, no, you got to bring it. I'm thinking, oh, how am I going to bring a corned beef on rye with French fries and mild sauce and a Coke Zero into a hospital during a pandemic? I recall now, I said that out loud to Sweets. And she says, oh, Dad, you'll figure something out. I love you. And she hangs up the phone. I'm like, gee, the difference between a grown child and a young child isn't much. So, of course, I get a big hoodie because it's the pandemic. All they care about is your temperature. And I've got the bags and stuff in here. And I'm like, oh. I'm walking in. And the security guard, he knows what's up. And he's like, yeah, man, it's cool. Go ahead up. And I get up and we're eating. My daughter says, Dad, you're the best dad ever. Can you stay a little longer past visiting hours? I said, sure. And she tells me how she feels, how she's confident about the surgery and everything, and how she appreciates me sitting with her. And it's like 2:00. It's 2 hours past visiting time. And we hug each other, and I leave her a Black Panther Build-A-Bear, and we hug each other again. I got a picture of her with it, and that would be the last time I see my daughter alive. Afterwards, I sat and thought, I failed as a father. I didn't protect my child like I was supposed to. That's what a father is supposed to do. For his child, for his daughters, protect her. I didn't. I did all the point fingers. Like there was a million fingers and I pointed them at me. It's my fault. And so I drank and I ate and I ate and I drank. And I played video games in between drinking and eating, but there was still drinking and eating. I didn't want to act. My agent would contact me. I didn't do anything. I sat and blamed and wallowed. And all I could think about was maybe I could drink enough. Maybe I could wallow enough that maybe I can go enjoy my daughter. Because I didn't stop her from being in pain. That lasted for about a month. And all I could hear was, Daddy, what are you doing? Daddy, what are you doing? That's all I could hear. And I thought about the times that Sweets she taught special ed, and she wasn't supposed to be in the classroom, but she went anyway. She took sick days, but she went and got up and went and taught kids. She could barely stand some days. She couldn't walk a block without breathing hard, but she went and taught kids. She went and volunteered at the animal shelter still. She helped her mom after her mom had a stroke. She helped her mom rehab back, and this was 2 months before Sweets passed, and I said, how dare I? So I stopped drinking. Okay, not fully, but enough. I started working out, started eating better, getting myself in shape, started taking auditions and getting back in the floor games. I started a scholarship fund for African-American women who are high school seniors that are going to an accredited college, university, or trade school. And we started last year, we gave away $10,000, $1,000 to 10 young women in my daughter's name, the Morgan Denise Livingston Scholarship Fund. And everything I do is dedicated to my child. I learned from her, you can't give up, you can't stop, you can't blame yourself. And my goal is to be what she always said I was to her, even if she's not physically here with me anymore. To be the best father ever. Thank you.
Please unmute yourself and get a big round of applause for James Gordon.
Thank you.
James, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us tonight. We're so glad that you're here.
Okay.
As Scott mentioned, there's opportunities to tell that do not submit. There's also opportunity to tell telling favorites. We're going to have another show next month. It'll be March 23rd, exactly 4 weeks today, because that's how February works, at least 3/4 of the time. And our theme next month is going to be favorite photograph. And if you're interested in telling us that,